Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. I'm Brett Chapin. That's guest co-host Bonnie Sludikoff. Thank you for joining us on La La Land, episode 91. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists. We've got three Los Angeles artists on the show today. Bonnie Sludikoff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We've got three Los Angeles artists on the show today.
Awesome guests today.
Yes. But before we get to them, let's talk to you a little bit. You are guest co-host and co-host finalist number 5, and you were kind enough to send us an awesome submission video, and people are going to log in starting tomorrow to start voting. I guess I'll just ask you what I asked everybody else. What would make you an amazing co-host on La La Land?
That's such a good question. I think that I'm a fun co-host because I'm not like such a typical like, hi, welcome to this show, like polished. Like that's not really what my background has been in, but my background has really been in talking to LA artists, being an LA artist. I grew up in LA. And I think that I just, what I like about the idea of co-hosting is getting to talk to all the cool people who come in here and kind of knowing what they go through because I go through it myself.
Yes, absolutely. And you have you're one of 2 finalists, I believe, who's actually done the show before.
Yes.
At the other place. So you're kind of familiar with how we work around here.
Yeah, it was fun, and I got to have the experience of being on the show as a guest to promote my own project. So
right.
Yeah, it's great. That's how I got introduced to the show. And I think that that was part of what drew me to wanting to be a co-host because I thought, well, that's great that there's a place where LA artists can come and talk about what they're doing.
I'm so pleased to have the 5 of you. Just I mean I would be so lucky to work with any of you, and the fact that 5 of you took the time to send in submission videos and want to host the show, I think it's great. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're an actress and a vocalist, right?
I'm an actress. Sometimes I have a day job as a writer editor for Poker Player newspaper, and I'm also I've been doing cabaret the last year. I started in a competition called Cabaret Idol, and I won and got to do my own show. And I just did my second cabaret kind of group show. It was called Chris Mahana Kwanzaa Cabaret.
Nice.
I named it. It was it was fun. I was proud of that name. And
Hollywood Bar and Grill?
At the Hollywood Studio Bar and Grill. Yeah.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. And I also have a web series that's in post-production. It's been in post-production since the last time I was here on the show. But yeah, it's going to happen. It's called Bayberry Hall. And yeah, I always have like a lot of projects going on.
You seem super busy. You're always working on something.
Yeah.
And
I think that's important to be really like, I mean, if you don't have the opportunity or the like thing presented to you that's going to give you a lot of presence or like that's going to be so big, I think it's smart to, just figure out what you can do to satisfy like what you want to do as like creating, being an artist, and just to give yourself more opportunities because one thing might take off and another might not.
Sure. So many people don't stick to it quite as long as they should, and they give up right before something was about to happen. You hear that story all the time.
I have so many friends who, it's really sad, like I know a lot of people who move out here and then they move away because it just didn't happen for them in 6 months or a year.
Right.
They give themselves like a time limit. Luckily I'm from out here, so I don't have anywhere to move to.
Perfect. Yeah, you can't give yourself a time limit.
You can't.
I don't think.
You just have to want it badly enough to make it work. However it's going to make you happy. And we're all different. Like some people are like, I need to be on Broadway. I need to be on a soap opera or whatever your dream is. But I think it's smart to just really say, okay, I just love to create and I'm going to figure out a way to get paid to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And you have to remain creative. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They say that though, if you're here for 2 years, you've kind of gotten over the hump. If you can get past the first 2 years, you'll probably end up staying and not moving back.
Yeah.
For a while. I don't know.
I wonder how many people don't make it that 2 year. I don't know. I wonder if there's a documentary. Somebody should make that.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to look that. I wonder if we can Google it.
Yeah.
Find out. Cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's going to be fun today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
We've got one guest on the phone, 2 amazing guests in the studio. I'll start off just real quick introducing the ones in the studio so we can give them that amazing LA Talk Live fake audience applause. We have actor Adrian Bustamente.
Our fake audience is really excited about him.
That was
Yes.
really amazing. I'm very excited that I got that fake audience. Clap.
Yes,
Thank
yes. You can see them over there, right? They're off camera,
Yes,
but yeah.
all 5 of them.
Yes. And actor Gedaly Guberek is joining us as well.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you.
Yes, we'll be here every Saturday. Gedaly has been with us before a couple times at the other studio. He does a lot of acting work, and he also designs websites for actors. Well, for performers, really for anybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Sweet. And on the phone, we have actress Wonder Russel, who is there. Hello, Wonder.
Yes. I'm here. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You're calling us all the way from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I'm in Washington, D.C. I live in Seattle, but I'm out here for the holidays with my family. And I got to say, I don't miss the rain.
I can imagine. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You are an actress who has been doing it pretty much your whole life, and I was just kind of curious, how did you get started with acting, Wonder?
Well, it definitely is in the blood, and I think the first time I was on stage, I think was true of a lot of performers, just I was probably 3 or 4 doing a little song, and my dad was playing guitar, for a little talent show. And
Nice.
it just, I'm naturally drawn to stories and storytelling of all forms, theater and literature, and films is really where I've found my great love.
Excellent. And you, I can imagine you said it's in your blood. You have quite a lineage. Did you want to speak about somebody that you might be related to that might have been an early influence?
Yeah, I grew up with my great aunt Jane being the Jane Russell, and of course, when I was little, I didn't have any sense of what that was. I mean, we were at her house a lot. She had a house up by us too for in the summer. I remember making me peanut butter sandwiches. She's a huge personality and a huge part of our family mythology, and it's always kind of amazing to be like, this person who's just a family member is also such an icon. And it was hard when she passed. It was like this giant part of our family, such a big personality, and so bold, and loved performing, loved to make people happy and entertained. And I just had this weird feeling. I was like, man, I just want to work on filling those shoes. I just want to, like she did, just pouring her heart out into what called to her.
Those are big shoes to fill, but you're doing a
Yeah.
great job with it so far.
And a bigger Brazilian size, but that's exciting.
I should say, by the way, if you want to find information on Russell, you can go to bellawonder.com. And if you have any questions for her or any of our guests today, give us a call at 323-247-7443.
And her website is super cute. Have you guys?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great site. And I was listening to your music, and it was lovely. I loved it.
Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah.
And you just got...
The funny part about being a performer in this day and age is you have to have the business side, too. You have to figuring out all the WordPress stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And WordPress is great to know for performers, and and one of our guests has build sites for actors who don't necessarily do that for themselves, but it's also great if you're a do-it-yourself kind of person to figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that it's really well? Obviously, you're going to say yes that it's helped you, but do you think it's helped you having that marketing that strong marketing that you do for yourself and for your career, and in what way do you think it's really benefited you?
Yeah, that's
because you're all over the place.
All the time. I'm sorry?
I was just saying, because you're all over the place. You're on Ustream, you're on YouTube and your website and everything. How do you think it's helped you?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think it just comes out of my natural personality, and just I'm a broadcaster. It's really hard for me to not just talk and share and have presence, and I really genuinely enjoy social media. And I know actors who that is not, what they enjoy, and some of them eschew social media, and some of them do it by discipline because of just the way our industry is changing. For me, it's just kind of a natural thing. I also do press relations in my day job and handle all like media things, but a lot of it to me is not. It's about relationships, and I love people, and I love having people around and for lots of friends, and to me that's just where it comes out of. Like I like to have, I like to be sharing and finding out what other people are doing, and having open dialogues on different platforms. It's just a really natural part of who I am. When I was a kid, I had pen pals. I was obsessed with just stories and other people's lives and adventure and interesting things. So, but it's also sometimes I am curious: is it oversaturation? Do we lose the mystique of the actor if we are too accessible? Do we become, by focusing on brands and personalities and niches, do we lose, our ability for the audience to see us in multiple roles if they feel like they know us too well? So that for me was where the balance is, and that's an ongoing struggle for sure.
It is a struggle because if you get too crazy on social media, is an audience going to look at you as yourself or what you say on social media rather than your character?
I've never heard anybody talk about that.
You don't want to have you don't want to have a reality presence. That's that's not what we're interested in.
Right.
But it's a fine line.
So how do you find the balance? I mean, I know there's
difficult.
there's probably not one
I
answer,
feel like
but
I'm still trying to figure it out. And if I have natural tendency to want to share things from my life, I have a blog that kind of does that. I have to also just keep believing that if I can connect with people, going back to relationships, if I can connect with people that are interested in me and what I'm doing, and that might not be a big group, but they're going to want to be interested in whatever is going on and whatever is next, as opposed to trying to sell them on something that I'm not.
Good way of thinking about it. Makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of actors who use their presence specifically to talk about either themselves or also like nonprofits and things that they do. Like a lot of them are like they really take a lot of action for a specific cause. But I've never heard anybody really talk about. That's a really good point about like how it just becomes about your persona, and what if you're a character actor and they need to see you as like a cop, and then they need to see you as a teacher, and all these different things. I wonder if a lot of actors find that that's a detriment to them or whatnot.
Yeah, it's curious, and I posted about this a while ago on the blog, and if anyone wants to search for it, it's under thereabout. But I was calling out, especially that we have established actors, and especially the comedians that, if you follow like Steve Martin or Alan Tudyk, who's very entertaining people, and they're always being entertaining and silly, and that's an extension of kind of their persona and their personhood. But you don't see that necessarily. You see a lot more people being very careful who are more like serious actors or actresses, or not being on it at all, to preserve that kind of separation between actor and character, which I think is completely valid too. It's just I think it's just the difficulty of the times that we live in is learning to navigate both.
I used to be really worried about what I would post, because I would be like, is this going to be unprofessional? Is it going to be perceived another way? And I had an actor, and I won't put them on blast on air, but I had them say something really that made a lot of sense to me. And this is somebody that tweets a lot of out there stuff, but is still a very successful actor. They said, I know that I've shot myself in the foot because of a lot of things that I've put out there, but I know that I've also gotten a lot of opportunities because of the things I put out there. So
right.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of finding that balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're using it for, I think that's important too, to be really clear about your goals, about why are you doing it. Are you connecting with people who are like-minded? Are you purely using it to just to tell people what you're doing? And then I think for me, it just breaks down into, well, if you're interested in, finding a tribe, for me, that's Twitter. And if you're interested in just saying, here's what I'm doing, maybe that's, your Facebook page. Just trying to be smart about it.
And you can find Wonder at Bella Wonder on Twitter, by the way, BellaWonder. Tell us
Yes,
about
sir.
some of the things that you're working on right now, Wonder.
I've got a couple things in the hopper, pretty exciting.
Nice.
I have big hopes for 2013.
Excellent.
So I have a feature in development that I'm going to be in, and I'm also producing, called Ashland. And you can go see what we're putting together at ashlandmovie.com. If anyone is curious, there's a pretty badass mood reel up there right now. And it's a feature film about a disgraced cop who is following a trail back and of a lead that she's actually been dismissed off the case, but finds out that her sister is involved. And it's sort of a modern day Western, and it's one of the best scripts I've read in a long time, and written and will be directed by my longtime collaborators and friends, Chris and Lindy Bousset, who are amazing writer-directors.
Awesome.
So really excited about that. I was in their last feature as well. It's called This Is Ours, and it had a festival run in 2012, and it's up now, I think, at tiofilm.com.
And that was not a Western.
That was not a Western.
Very
That
cool.
was a pretty classic indie drama. It's a rough ride. It's basically looking at the disintegration of the American dream and marriages, and in terms of what we expect life to be and how life actually is, and then redefining a success on our own terms. What does it look like? Is it the big house, or is it, a successful relationship? And can you have both, or is it one or the other? So yeah, it examines a couple different relationships really closely, and yeah, it's a great film. But
I love the title. This is ours.
It's an unflinching look at life, and yeah, This Is Ours. It's great.
And what about Deadline? What is Deadline?
Deadline is I'm pretty excited about Deadline. It's a short film I shot just recently in the fall, and it's coming out next year by director Doug Stapleton, whom I'm excited to work with. And I've never been asked to do like a role like this before. It was a thriller. It's all take place, in an office and corporate, high stakes, and someone's following her and stalking her. And so it was really fun. We shot it really fast, long nights, in a couple days. And I got an email from the director yesterday, and he said he cut together this one scene that happens in a parking garage, and he said, he wrote me and another actor in the scene. He said, I gotta tell you guys, it's so good, it's gonna make people very uncomfortable. like, yeah, nailed it. Such a good feeling when the director is happy.
Can people find information about all this at bellawonder.com?
Yes, I have a link up there to Deadline. I think I'll put another one up there, and I'll put it out on Twitter in case people want to follow along.
Perfect. She's always working.
No, very busy.
Super busy.
Heck yeah.
Say that again. Your mic wasn't.
Oh, just hustling. That's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Wonder, and it's been a pleasure talking to you finally.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show, and you guys have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Merry Christmas.
Wonder,
thank
can
you,
you
guys.
do you want to hang on and participate in the conversation in the next 40 minutes, or do you have to go?
I'm definitely hanging on, and I don't want to interrupt anyone with my phone overlap, but I'm definitely staying on, listening in on the show and supporting everyone.
Cool. Stay on the line.
All right.
Talk to you soon. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Wonder Russel. For any information on Wonder, go to bellawonder.com. And what do you think, Bonnie? You want to take a break and come back with a couple of awesome guys?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
She said she thinks it sounds like an awesome idea. She's got no microphone, folks. She's got no microphone, but she said it's an awesome idea, and I think it is too. We're going to be back with Adrian Bustamente, actor, and Gedaly Guberek, actor. Give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443, and say hello. You can find information about us at Facebook on facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk and Twitter at twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. We'll be back on La La Land Talk on LA Talk Live in just a moment. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. I'm Brett Chapin. That's guest co-host Bonnie Sludikoff.
Hi.
Got some Christmas music going on in La La Land today. Good stuff.
It's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
And we survived the end of the world, so it's even more festive.
Exactly.
What are you doing for Christmas, man, Eric? Anything good?
I'm gonna be here.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be here. We're gonna do a little Christmas meal and just enjoy the festivities.
Festivities of the
Awesome.
holiday.
Yeah. So all is invited. Who wants to come?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Happy holidays to all. It's Christmas
Eggnog
time.
and all that.
I don't know if this is officially our Christmas show or if next week is officially our Christmas show.
Oh.
But I want to say next week is because we have a pretty cool guest coming in. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah?
you know about
Well, it's
this.
on Christmas Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas is Tuesday, so I guess it'll be our post-Christmas show technically.
There
It'll
you
be
go.
our New Year's
Or they're
show.
both Christmas shows, because you
There you
can't
go.
have too much Christmas.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll wear a Santa hat, but we've got Marilyn Monroe coming in to join us next week.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Yes, it's gonna be
Cool.
good stuff.
Cool.
Yes, Christmas. Marilyn and Christmas are synonymous to me for some reason. I don't know why.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe because you see her in a lot of Christmas wardrobe sometimes. I don't know. Moving on.
Like, what do you say to that?
Sure. Actor Adrian Bustamente, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This is great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you can find information first off about Adrian at adrianbustamante.com. If you have any questions for Adrian or any of our guests, give us a call at 323-247-7443. What is going on right now with you and your amazing career, Adrian? You are
happening?
working constantly as well.
Yeah, it's been good. 2012 was a good year. 2013 is looking better. So it's been really good. What's going on with me? I'm currently hosting and co-hosting one show and hosting another. One is called Food Deconstructed. So I'm actually cooking and hosting on the show. It's a YouTube original show. So YouTube pays our bills. Thank you, YouTube.
Very nice.
But it's great. It's a blend of, we basically will take a recipe and deconstruct all the ingredients of that recipe and reconstruct them into usually about 4 or 5 different recipes. And we try and make it fun. So we'll take stuff like a cheeseburger, and we recently just posted we have a cheeseburger sundae, and then we have a cheeseburger, what was the other one we just placed up? I think a cheeseburger cocktail is coming up as well, but there'll be 4 of the recipes along with
I
that,
just
too.
watched the cheeseburger pancakes
Oh, the
one.
cheeseburger
Yeah,
pancakes, that's right.
when I saw that you were going to be on the show, I was like, that is. I was like, what are the most interesting? And I was like, that's creative.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun because I get to make these recipes, and if they suck, then I get to tell you guys they suck, and if they're good, which most of the time, thankfully, they are, then I get to explain why they're good. So.
Has anything been really, really gross? Like,
Yeah, the one that's up right now that people can see was we deconstructed California rolls, and we made a California roll parfait, which was a good try, but it was really, really bad. And then most recently, in I think next week you'll probably see it, is the cheeseburger cocktail that's coming up. That was just probably the worst thing I've made so far. Sadly.
Okay,
but
stay away from that one.
But watch the show. We do make some really good stuff. So you can subscribe to the channel, share it with people. It's a really fun show.
I'm still on the cheeseburger pancakes.
Yeah.
How did
That
those
sounded
turn out?
good. It sounded
Were they good?
They were good. They were actually
Yeah?
really, really good. We the cheeseburger run was probably our kind of more out there stuff that we've made so far. So the cheeseburger pancakes turned out really well. There was like a good savory little dish, and then but yeah, and the cheeseburger sundae, as weird as it sounds, is actually really good too. So it was scary to eat, but
Yeah.
it was still really, really good. Yeah.
Well, bacon sundaes are all the rage now.
Well,
so
yeah,
cheeseburger.
Yeah, there was bacon in it. We basically cooked some candied bacon, put it over the top of it, and and some of the ice cream. It wasn't like you get chunks of meat in your ice cream, so it was
a little weird.
Yeah.
The cool thing though about like these
Right.
things that hearing about them, wow, that sounds really like I I might not want to eat that, but it's very like bold, and it probably gives like viewers the empowerment to say, oh well, I can just throw things together and maybe make something good.
Yeah,
You know?
which is cooking in general. I feel like for a lot of people are scared to make something bad, where that's the whole fun of it. Sometimes you, like you said, you throw stuff together and it just happens, which makes it really fun.
A lot like life.
Yeah, a lot like life.
Yeah.
Cooking is like life, everybody.
I'm addicted to the Food Network and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I love watching those guys do their thing. They made this cheeseburger soup with lettuce and tomatoes in it. It actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's surprising how many soups are out there. Like we've deconstructed a lot of stuff and turned it into soups, and they all taste really, really good. Like we did stuffing soup the other day. Or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, and it tasted just like a liquid version of stuffing, which was really good.
That sounds like
awesome.
a good idea.
Yeah, it was really, really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So Food Deconstructed, yes. And then the other show that we're doing right now is I do called Trend This. Now Trend This is a new entertainment show that started a few months back, but we recently got picked up by Coldcast. So everybody can check us out at coldcast.com. It's a new network online that has some really awesome shows. I think you were saying, Brett, that you had somebody else on the show that was
We
currently
had
Coldcast, right?
Ed Robinson from Pairings the Series.
Nice. Yeah, so they're doing a really great job. So Amy Pathrath and Emrys Cooper are the hosts of the show, and I come on every week and talk about some new not quite trending either apps or music or some other site that you can go to check out cool stuff. So it's a fun show. They do skits. They do just interviews with some people. Like I think this last episode that just started yesterday that you can check out on trendthis.tv or go to Coldcast is I forget the actor's name, but he was a fairly big role in the new Twilight film as well. So always somebody good, and it's fun. Amy and Emrys are awesome, so it's a fun show. So I'm really excited for that to kind of catch on this year with Coldcast.
That's great.
Yeah, so it'll be fun.
One of the things that other things you're working on that I'm really excited to see this film, Hansel and Gretel, is coming out.
Yeah, it was really fun to shoot this. I had the opportunity of working opposite a few scenes with a really good actress as well named Dee Wallace. If you don't know her, she was like the mother in E.T. as well, and like the mother in Cujo, and then The Howling, and tons of other stuff since then. But those are kind of the things that people usually gravitate back to. But yeah, I play a character named Deputy Jerry Carter in the film, and it's a blast. I like horror type genre stuff myself, so to be able to do something like that was a fun time. So it comes out January 8th, and we're all really excited for it.
How cool to get to work with Dee Wallace.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was cool to work with her. She's an awesome person.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
cool.
Can you give us anything about what the deputy does or what his role is in the film, or you want to?
I'll let people kind of see it.
Anything?
I don't want to really ruin necessarily anything. I will let you know that you may not see me at the end of the film. I may not make it all the way through. So
Okay.
I'll give you that, but it's overall it's a really great thing. They took the whole Hansel and Gretel story and just put a nice little, like, I guess, semi-modern twist on it and made it a little more horror. So it's cool. It's fun. And I think people that like that genre are really going to enjoy it. Even people that aren't necessarily a fan may enjoy it too. So it's good.
Yeah.
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 Kind of a fun twist to take a story that like parents might tell their children to put them to sleep, and then make it something that will like keep people up at night because it's so scary.
Well, which is always so random to me, because the grim fairy tales, like, people like tell their kids these stories to go to sleep, but in reality, if you really read the story, you're like, wait a second, people die in these all the time.
The real versions, like if you look at it from a more literal point of view, they're not really child friendly. They're just not.
But it's all in the way you tell the story, I guess.
If you have the right tone of voice, you can tell a child like the phone book and go to sleep.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Very cool. What's from grim to other stuff? Is there anything else coming up for you that you can talk about right now, or is it just some things in the fire?
Food Deconstructed is really going to take some of my time. We're also working on a show for YouTube that's also currently been very, very popular. I'm on it occasionally. It's called Recipe Wars. It's another cooking show. So that'll be shooting through at least the first half of next year as well. So I have those two shows. Hosting wise, you just never really know. I got into that world a little while ago, so I currently have some things on the burner, kind of waiting for that. We'll have a film that I'll be shooting at some point this year called Dark Harvest as well. Really great cast. It's kind of a sci-fi type, I guess, sci-fi teen kind of film, if you kind of put a twist on it, like I said, label on it. But we have those things coming up. And it's just the beginning of the year is coming up, so pilot season will be around, so that'll be a busy time of the year for any actor in LA. We're just gearing up for that, so it'll be good. And then Comedy Central, I have a show coming out in Comedy Central called Nathan for You, that I play a character in that show but they actually let me keep my name Adrian for some reason, so play a guy named Adrian on the show, and that's a really, really funny show that'll be coming out in the spring too. So it's gonna be a busy first half of the year, but I'm excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate toward hosting? I'm just curious.
As an actor, I figured out that I could host and make money doing that to supplement my my gaps in other acting on shows and film and commercials. So I got a job with Yahoo up north working for a production company. That's kind of started it. Then worked for a couple other companies like CNET doing like product reviews and things like that. And it's fun. It gives me an opportunity to kind of just do something a little bit different, but still be in front of the camera and having a good time doing it. So it's a fun thing, and it came naturally to me, and I think it comes naturally to some actors, and some actors it doesn't come naturally. But I kind of recommend it to any actor that's out there to try it once or twice and see if you like it.
Yeah, it's fun. I'd recommend it too. I think it helps in your auditions as well. Bringing yourself out of yourself
completely, because it's a whole nother medium, and if you can do well in it, you usually can kind of bring it over into like a commercial audition of some sort, or just use it in some other aspect in it. So I just feel that if you can try and do a few different things in this industry, it'll keep you busy and keep your exposure high, which is always good.
Agreed. Where are you from? Are you from LA?
Originally from Northern California, so California, born and raised, but not too far from LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do any acting up there? Or?
I did. That's where I got started, was in Northern California. And then I tried to kind of do the whole floating back and forth thing, coming down for auditions and working, and that was a crash and burn situation. Like, it worked okay in the beginning, and then I realized that the travel is just way too much for me, especially if you don't have the extra income to do all the flying and you're constantly driving. So. But it was good. I got my start on a show up north called Trauma that was on NBC. It was a great opportunity, fast learning curve, being on a network show for a full season, and I kind of just decided it was going to be a good thing once I had a lot of work up there, just to kind of come down to LA and keep my career growing, as opposed to having that glass ceiling that tends to happen in smaller markets.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is it's different in Northern California, the audition and acting process, than it is in Southern California? Or?
The only difference that I can say is it's smaller. So there's like 4 or 5 casting houses in San Francisco, and once you get in there, all the casting directors. If you're fairly decent at what you do, they'll bring you back in. So you'll constantly have the ability to work. Mm-hmm. The only thing is not a lot of television. There's not a lot of film that goes up there. There are a few commercials that shoot, but there's a glass ceiling. So if you want to really build upon your career and kind of have it grow, you got to come to where it's at, and that's LA. So a lot of people are kind of scared about that giant leap, whether you're coming from in-state or out of state, and it is a giant leap for some people. But in the end, it's kind of what you need to do if you really want to succeed and grow in this industry.
That's a good point. Like, it's scary, but it's also, if you're in LA for definitely for theater, for film, not for theater, but for film and TV, you're giving yourself the most options. Same as probably for New York, you're giving yourself more options. For theater, we do have a theater community in LA, but it's not the same as New York. So
no, sadly it's not. That's the hard
I wish
part.
it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's theater's great. It's a great art form, and I love it to death. But there's nothing really here in LA, sadly, that is a growing theater community, per se.
There's a lot of little theater. I mean, there's great theater in LA, but as far as making a full-time living doing it, it's difficult.
Yeah, you can't. The commitment and the pay is always the hard parts with theater, I think.
And driving for hours.
Yeah, driving for hours.
The driving, I will definitely agree.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, I think there's this theater community in LA. I think it's growing. I think it's getting better.
It is growing, and it is getting better. I wish it was the same as like a New York, or even a San Francisco has a great little theater community as well. I wish it was as dense and as popular as it was in those two places. But like you said, I think it is growing, thankfully.
The cool thing that we have in LA is that we can be a part of both the film community and the theater community, which I don't think really, I think this is the best place for that.
I think, any other market in the US, you might be able to work a little bit with film or television, but if you want to do that and still have a little bit of theater, in your back pocket, I know LA is the best place to be.
And they're actually doing something that I can ask you about, Gedaly, later. Is they're forming a producers league in LA.
Really?
To kind of bring the theater community together.
Oh,
and
nice.
kind of, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's improvements being made, but it's probably not ever going to be Broadway. But then what is?
Yeah,
gonna be
Broadway's
Broadway?
always
Yeah.
going to be Broadway no matter what. I don't think I'd ever want it any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to be like the second Broadway. Like
Yeah.
we're LA, we're different.
Broadway too.
No, it doesn't work. Have you done theater as well?
I've done a little bit of theater in San Francisco, and I really, really like it. I mean, if any actor hasn't done theater, I think you need to at least try it and experience it because it really does help you as an actor. But the biggest part in LA is the commitment. I can't commit to a theater project because I am doing other things, and that's the sad part about it. Hopefully once I am doing something more consistently and I have a steadier, regular gig on a television show or films or whatever, and you have the opportunity to take a couple months off and do theater, that's an amazing experience, I'm assuming. But until then,
I mean, you can't live on $12 a show.
it's weird. I've tried, but for some reason, when I try and pay my rent, it's tough.
Yeah, imagine. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, for any information on Adrian, you can go to adrianbustamante.com.
Yes.
Bustamante.
Yep.
And we'll, take a quick break and be back with Gedaly Guberek. For information on him, go to gedaly.com. And if you have any questions, give us a call at 323-247-7443. Thanks so much for joining us, Adrian.
Thank you guys. Happy holidays.
We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Bonnie today on LA Talk Live. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. I'm Brett Chapin. That's guest co-host Bonnie Sludikoff. I'm loving this Christmas music today. It's good stuff.
Oh, thank you very much.
You have some very good choices today, sir. We are talking with actor Gedaly Guberek. If you have any questions for Gedaly, give us a call at 323-247-7443. Thanks for joining us, Gedaly.
Thanks for having me.
And for information on Gedaly, you can go to gedaly.com. Gedaly is an actor and a website designer, and I want to get into your acting, but let's start off talking about the website design that you do. You have a website for actors, is that right?
Yes. So I've been creating websites since I was like 12 when I first got the internet, before people had like heard about it. I'm like, I want to make that.
Nice.
And it's ended up being a business for me, but more of a hobby just for my own projects a lot of the time. But I discovered that a lot of friends who are actors or artists don't have great websites, and they're paying a lot of money for these things that they don't use and they don't know how to use. And, and there's a lot of free resources out there that are hard to navigate. There are a lot of people charging lots of money for these things, but I didn't really see the value that people were getting out of it. So I wanted to do something a little different. And I said, I have this knowledge, and I want to give that to people. So rather than making websites for people, just, pay me a bunch of money and I'll spit out a website. I thought I'd empower people in a different way. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a one-on-one workshop with artists and actors to teach them the tools to build their website. We mentioned WordPress before earlier in the show, so that's what I'm working with. Just so do-it-yourself artists who are want to know how to update their own website and put their own reel on there, put their own headshots up there, change credits when when there's a new project, and not have to rely on someone else. So I'm really after that, and basically what I'm doing now is I sit down with an artist for several hours, and by the end of it they've got a website that's working and online and looks really good, and they have the ability to edit, make changes, basically do anything they want afterwards, and I'll support them afterwards if they need anything else. But
So you're kind of like a design your own website tutor
yeah,
in a way. Very cool.
Cool.
People can find information about all this at youractorwebsitenow.com, right?
That's right. Youractorwebsitenow.com. Just launched it recently. For realsies. I was telling people I did this, but it's like, I'm going to make
Now
this
it's for
website.
realsies.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
made that website and just say, here's this resource.
I was so excited that we were having a guest on who does that because I always am advocating / yelling at my actor friends, like, you need to have an online presence. Like, because if if somebody meets you somewhere and they're like, oh, you're an actor, where can I find you online? And there's nothing, then that's it. That's going to be the end of their interest in you. So whether it's great to have a lot of, avenues, be on Twitter, be on your .com, but just, you need to have stuff out there. So
Yeah.
it's smart. And it's great to have a service like that because not everybody is going to go build their own website. It's difficult.
And
It's
I like
hard.
the idea that he's teaching people and giving them the tools rather than just doing it for them.
Yeah, I know
cool.
people who have their own website and then it'll sit and it won't get updated. So it's great. You need to know how to navigate. And WordPress is manageable. It's difficult and it's confusing if you don't know anything about it. But if somebody takes the time and works with you, then they're giving you a skill set. So that's a good investment.
Exactly. It's important, I think, to have that flexibility and control because, your IMDb page or if you have like Facebook or Twitter, you can't really control what's on there. And if you're trying to build an audience for yourself, for your own projects, for other causes you're working on, or just whatever, it's important to have that and present things in a way that you control entirely. And you're not really dependent on other people's services that might go away or what other people are doing. So it's great to have that control so that you can take your career into your own hands and really, be as professional as you want to be on your own terms.
I heard there's a rumor in the Twitter sphere that there's a special deal for La La Land viewers for your website.
That is correct.
Rumor.
So
There's a rumor.
rumor.
He started the rumor.
Rumor has it.
Rumor person.
So
Call me Gossip Girl. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, it's me actually. No one
wow.
knows that. Yeah.
Amazing.
I love
Sorry,
your,
Michael Steele. I stole your
alert.
joke.
I love your show.
Oh, thanks.
It was great. I mean, I don't watch. Yeah, so a little holiday special just for listeners. Normally, a full workshop is like 3 to 4 hours. By the end of it, you have a full working website and the ability to edit and all that stuff. Plus, I support you afterwards, and everything's all set. Which will normally run $349, which is half of what a lot of other people charge to build it for you over a number of weeks. So I'm going to give listeners for the next 23 hours and 10 minutes until noon tomorrow, you get $100 off. So I'm just going to give this to you for $250, $249 actually. Just go to youractorwebsitenow.com/LaLaLand, and it'll be right there.
We'll put a link on our Facebook and Twitter too for that.
Fantastic.
And we were talking about how some actors come out here, some performers come out to LA and then they leave. This is a great way to keep you out here and maybe make you more successful to build your own, have your site built.
It's
Definitely.
so invaluable. It's so invaluable. What you're doing is awesome because it's so invaluable to have a website as an actor. If you don't have it, call now.
Yeah.
You're making an investment in yourself. You might as well make yourself, which is your product, the best possible.
Right, and people spend hundreds of dollars on headshots anyway, but if you don't do anything with those, if you don't have a resource that people can go to see what you're up to, and an easy way, to something to put on your business cards and your resume that you email to people when people are looking for you, that shows people exactly what you want to give them. It's almost a no-brainer to make that investment just to have somewhere where people can go and see what you're up to.
Absolutely. So contact Gedaly, guys, for information on building your website. Seriously, it's an invaluable tool.
Yeah. And we're in such an age where what you do, a lot of opportunities you have to get booked on a show, but you can also make a lot of your own luck here. You could make your own web series, you could make your own thing, and it's great to just have your online presence to make that bigger.
Because IMDb is great, but everybody has that.
Yeah.
Might as well make something unique.
Yeah, you need to. Like you said, otherwise if you're just doing Facebook and Twitter, people only see you if they're following you or attached to you. So this way, if
Right.
your website, they can look up your name and you're right there.
Yeah, and it's great for if you're doing a web series or a feature or some other project where it's once you learn how to build a website, you can do it infinite number of times. So it's like we're making this web series, and suddenly we have a website, so you can start drumming up interest about it immediately instead of like waiting and leaving it as the last step. You know, you create a website for this project and then sign up for this email newsletter and get updates about it, and then suddenly you have an audience before you even thought about it. So it's great to use for anything. Like, it's been great for me. If I have a project, bam, first thing I do is create the website so I can start pointing people somewhere so they can get more info.
Yeah. How long does it take to create the website? I think in one of your seminars, is it?
3 to 4 hours is kind of how long will take, but the website will be online and working within an hour, and then the rest of it is just kind of editing and adding pictures and stuff like that. So like with a WordPress website, when you set it up on your own host and you get it launched, it's online really fast, within minutes basically.
Nice.
And then the rest is just making it look how you want.
That's so cool to like be able to have it done that fast, because I built my site and I built one for my web series, and the amount of time that it took was not 3 to 4 hours. It was a lot longer. So it's great to just be able to get it done and have it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell us about some of the stuff that you're doing with Fringe right now too.
Oh yeah. So every June in Hollywood there is the Hollywood Fringe Festival. 2013 will be its 4th year, and this is the largest arts festival in California. I think on the West Coast now, actually. But so I have this project that I've always wanted to do, and I'm making it happen this year. It's a 3-man comedy show, and it's called Kung Fools. It's basically 3 guys getting up on stage and acting out our favorite kung fu movies.
Nice.
I'm a huge kung fu movie fan, and I like performing on stage. I've studied martial arts for years as well, and it's just a fun project that I've always really wanted to do. So I'm creating that now with some friends, and in the meantime, we're doing a lot of studying, so watching kung fu movies. It's tough, guys. And then also creating short kung fu films just for the heck of it. Like getting together and doing combat on camera, which is an entirely different thing, but super fun. It's like being our own action movie stars.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And which theater is that going to be at Fringe? Do you know yet, or?
Don't know yet. I've got
Okay.
some ideas, but nothing signed on paper.
But I bet that people can find information at gedaly.com when that time comes.
Yes, it'll be on there, and probably by tomorrow you can go to kungfools.com and something will be there.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you like kung fu movies or watching people flail about on stage with fake weapons, go to that website, kungfools.com.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
We had Rachel Stahl in here recently talking about the Fringe, the Hollywood Fringe, and it seems that there's a lot of major theater cities seem to have a Fringe festival. There's the New York Fringe, and Wonder, I don't know if you're still on the phone, but maybe you can tell us if there's a Seattle Fringe. But these seem to be cropping up in a lot of different cities.
There actually is a Seattle Fringe.
There is, okay.
There's quite a few in various cities, and they're different in each city, but it's each of them are just an arts festival, not necessarily theater specific, but it's just artists, very grassroots, very much people creating their own work, their own passion projects, and showing it and sharing it with the world, and it's very cool. Some festivals have large large companies. A lot are independent artists with like solo shows or various kind of acts, but it's just the coolest thing because it's this festival, this mass gathering of artists creating their work and sharing it with people, and it's unlike anything else.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice. What's coming up in the future for you as far as any other acting projects besides Kung Fu's? Is it just hitting the ground running with auditioning next year? Or what do you got going
I'll
on?
be doing that a bit. I haven't been putting as much focus on that so I can create my show, which is, I know, going to take up plenty of my time.
Mm-hmm.
Writing, producing, acting, choreographing Kung Fu fights. and all that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm getting back into. Got some new headshots, you know, getting that going. So we'll see what the next year holds. But all I know for sure is that I'll be creating my own projects, which I think is the best way to be sure that I'll be working.
Yeah, that's the way to guarantee it.
Yeah. So yeah, having fun, kicking ass.
Great. What more can you ask for?
Exactly.
Awesome.
That's my 2013 plan.
Yeah.
Having fun.
I'm actually mad that you stole my 2013 plan right now.
I had it
Sure.
first. That's a good one.
I'm completely upset.
We're thieves around here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to make a website called Kung Fools, but it'll be with a Z. So you can go to www.kungfoolswithaz.com tomorrow.
I won't help you make that website.
He might be a hacker too. He has a lot of web knowledge.
no.
He might not be able to hack in.
Just a picture of me, my face superimposed on Ralph Macchio's body on your website.
That's awesome.
If they make a movie of Ralph Macchio's life, though, you could play him.
I agree. I hope so.
Yeah,
That would be,
I could see that.
That would be amazing. I just want to know who's going to play Mr. Miyagi.
Or even a web series.
Yeah,
And then Gedaly can build your site.
There
Who
you
wants
go.
to start a web series? Ralph Macchio. It'll just be the name.
Perfect.
I would watch that. No, nobody
too.
else.
Ralph Macchio can be my dad. Ralph Macchio, if you're listening, I want to hire you to be my dad, and I'm going to play you.
Does he have a Twitter? We could all have a campaign to
He
reach
is
him.
all over the Twitter.
Is he
I'm
really?
gonna
I think so.
follow him.
How do you know
Him-
Ralph Macchio is all over the Twitter?
I may have noticed at a certain point. Actually, because Johnny from Karate Kid is all over the Twitter, and
I
I
didn't
think
know that
they
either.
talk to each other.
That's amazing. I need to
Yes.
follow them.
They have this thing on Sundays called SMTA Sunday Movie Tweet Along, and they did Karate Kid, and Johnny from Karate Kid was live tweeting the whole thing. It was pretty funny.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah,
Sweep the
sweep the leg.
That's so awesome.
Good stuff. Gedaly Guberek, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Very
Been
good
awesome.
stuff. Not a bad day, huh, Bonnie?
Good show here today.
Hanging fun to hang out with cool actors and good stuff.
Absolutely. Now I have a place to build my website and learn about food, and I'm set for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta come back and make us some food one of these days,
Yeah.
Adrian.
I'll definitely. I'll come cook.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I hear.
I told him I was waiting for the gluten-free, dairy-free because I'm allergic for that show. So I put the word
We'll
out.
put something together for you. If there will at least be one episode in the next month where I'll make something gluten
Yes.
free.
It's not just me. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why I started the show, so people would feed me. So
It's
Yeah.
working so well.
yes, I like it when caterers come in here. Well, thank you so much to all three of you for joining us, and
Oh, I love that audience, that fake audience that we have here. They're the best.
they
They're real.
are pretty
They're real.
supportive.
They're really real, guys.
They're real.
No, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
it was fun and it kicked ass.
Yeah, and the two.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Wonder.
Yeah.
I forgot she was still there.
She's like a little voyeur. I wonder.
I'm just lurking.
Hey, Wonder, there is a Seattle Fringe Festival. Have you been there?
The theater part, yeah, this year I was hearing him talking about that. So I saw a couple plays there. It's having quite the revival. They used to do it all the time, and it was a bigger thing, and then it just kind of dispersed. But they're making a big effort and a big comeback. So no, it's exciting to see because you get to see a lot of experimental things that don't normally make it to stages that are trying to play it safe.
Love it. You can find out information about LA's Fringe Festival too at
HollywoodFringeFestival.org.
HollywoodFringeFestival.org. What he said.
Yeah.
Nice. I should talk about some things that are going on right now. I just recently saw A Snow White Christmas at the Pasadena Playhouse. Awesome.
Was that
Ariana
good?
Grande.
Was that good? That was one. Was it Neil Patrick Harris is the mirror? Right?
He's the mirror, yeah.
Yeah.
Magic Mirror. It's interesting because it's on video, and we saw him come in and sit down in the front row at the beginning of opening night, and we're like, well, if he's in the audience, he's not going to be able to be on stage. But yeah, it's
I thought that would
video.
be the case. I was like, I can't imagine Neil Patrick Harris running out to Pasadena every night.
yeah. He did a little pre-taping of it. But it was great. Ariana Grande from, I don't know how to,
Ariana Grande.
Grande?
I babysit for these kids who love her, so I was like, I know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande from Victorious, right?
Victorious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's playing Snow White. It's a fantastic
She has
show.
an amazing voice. Yeah.
Yes.
I love her on Victorious.
Pastor,
Show's amazing.
are you being sarcastic?
Very sarcastic.
We used to watch that when I babysat, and then the kids' parents were like, "It's too grown up for you."
Too grown up.
They're like 8 years old. They're like 8-year-olds.
Wait till 10 at least. Or
Yeah.
something, I don't know. But check that out, guys, at PasadenaPlayhouse.org. We also have a show coming up at Theater Palisades beginning January 18th. Has anybody here seen Roy? It's a world premiere comedy written by our amazing box office employee, Diane Grant. I didn't want to say box office lady because that just sounds weird.
But you just said it.
Yeah, I know. Right? It's because you looked at me and I'm like,
Box office lady.
yes. Our wonderful box office queen, Diane Grant. Diane Grant. And that opens January 18th and runs for 5 weeks. Find out information about that at theaterpalisades.com. Next week on the show, we are going to be joined by Marilyn Monroe. Well, okay, Marilyn Monroe impersonator Ashley Clark, but Marilyn Monroe as far as I'm concerned. We're actually, yeah, she deserves applause. We're actually going to shoot the segment in a really cool way. You guys are going to like this, so make sure you tune in. Voting, and we also are going to be speaking with theater publicist Ken Werther. He's going to be joining us. He's been a longtime supporter of the show. I consider the guy a co-producer. He's been very, very supportive and been with us from the beginning. Can't wait to talk to him for our last show of the year. Voting begins on our co-host search for our 5 finalists at midnight tonight. Log on to facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk. All 5 finalist submission videos and their segments are going to be posted, or their episodes are going to be posted, and you guys are going to vote between now and the end of the year, and whoever has the most votes by the end of the year is going to be with you from the duration on. From the first episode in January on. Good stuff.
So vote wisely.
Vote wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote my parody and it had your name in it, but since the audience chooses, I guess I should have asked them what their names were so I could write a parody with their name in it.
Oh, yeah. But I
So
really
send me your name and I'll write your parody.
But I really liked my parody.
Oh, thank you.
Bonnie wrote a really cool song in her submission video. It's up on our page right now. You
I will
guys
take
check
any
it out.
excuse to change the words to a real song into something else.
Yes. Speaking of Neil Patrick Harris, she wrote an entire song on Neil Patrick Harris.
That's amazing.
It's
Yes.
on YouTube.com. YouTube, my page, which is Oh That Bonnie. Yeah, so if anybody wants to look up that
My
song.
vote's in for Bonnie. I don't know
Oh,
who
thank
I don't know
you.
who these other 4 people are, but Bonnie's getting my vote.
Thank you.
I have no opinion. I'm Switzerland.
He's yeah.
You're Switzerland. Tired of you, Switzerland.
Yeah.
Grow a backbone.
But honestly, like our audience is voting for who they're going to be seeing for the next year. So vote wisely.
You put your Saturdays at the mercy of your viewers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of did.
What if you get like
I trust them.
What if you get like a 6th vote and people just vote for some random person?
Is there a write-in?
Yeah,
be
is there
weird.
right in for Roseanne Bart?
I'm doing the contest very transparently, and they have to like either the submission video or the episode.
There's
so
a really
there's no
crazy
write-in.
homeless man that lives down the street from me. I'm gonna get his name. We're gonna write him in. Everybody.
Okay, that'll work too. You know, it's whatever our audience wants around here.
Exactly.
Yeah, help us help you. Until next week, I'm gonna throw some music on here. A little out music. Well, Chicago, there it is. Until next week with Marilyn Monroe and Ken Werther. This is La La Land. Thank you all 3 of our guests for joining us.
Thank you.
Find information about us on La La Land at Facebook, facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Send us an email at LaLaLandTalk@gmail.com. Until next week, I'm Brett Chapin. That's guest co-host Bonnie Sludikoff. This is La La Land Talk, and we'll see you at the top.